Let's talk about Lauri Markanen, Al. Lauri Markanen, man, 23.7 points per game, 8.6 rebounds per game. Hey, he's back to all-star form or close to it, but could he be on the block? According to Jake Fisher, Yahoo Sports says Lauri Markanen has emerged as a fascinating, albeit unlikely, trade candidate before February's trade deadline. The reason he believes that he could be is that with the Jazz in an 8-16 start, he's got contract negotiations coming up, just like Donovan Mitchell. His contract will end in 24-25. And the thinking there by Jake is that depending on how Danny Ainge evaluates where this team is, like, are they just having a bad year, or are they just not there yet? They could trade him. So I look at this one as make me an offer I can't refuse, Danny Ainge style, or he probably sticks around. What do you think?
Exactly that, CP. Make me an offer I can't refuse. This is, to me, is just screaming, who's desperate? Like, who's really desperate to go get Lauri Markkanen? And, you know, as Fisher mentioned in that article, you have Sacramento. You have, who else you got? You got, what do you say? I think he also said, was it Atlanta's in there as well?
Sacramento, Atlanta, and let me give you the name: Sacramento, Atlanta, OKC. He put OKC.
And OKC, that's right. I knew it was like that one was interesting. OKC is very interesting.
Yeah.
Look, I could see the Kings needing a big. I mean, I know Harrison Barnes is underperformed this year for that team, but if you're worried about defense, I don't know why you want Lauri Markkanen and Domantas Sabonis as your two front court guys. I mean, offensively, that team would just be more talented because Markkanen is a sniper from downtown. But if I'm Sacramento, I'm just gonna go through all three teams right here, for a second. If I'm Sacramento, I'm moving Sabonis. I'm putting Lauri at the 4, and I'm trying to look for a legitimate center, like a good rim protector. You know what I mean? That's how I would look at it. I would not want Sabonis
evolve in that way. I could see that evolve in that way.
I would not want Sabonis, like, as much as Sabonis is like, you know, it's funny. I see this meme all across Twitter where they talk about Sengun, Sabonis, and Jokic being like the evolution of like a Charmander to a Charmeleon to a Charizard.
Yeah.
Sabonis being the Charmeleon. It's like, look, man, you know, hey, I get that. I get what Sabonis offers as like this Jokic light, but I don't think he's enough to take the Kings to that next level just because defensively he's just not there for that team. And even on offense, like, he's not a guy who's averaging 20 some odd points per game, but he's solid enough. But I would totally go market in and go get a different center. If you're talking about Atlanta, for Markkanen, if you're talking about Atlanta for Markkanen, like, that's a great fit. I think if you want to add a legitimate 4 for Atlanta, that's dangerous to add. You would have him and Trey opening up this 4 for everybody. Then you have Capella, who's back to being that rim runner that he was back in Houston and early Atlanta days,
or Kongu, depending on which way they go.
Kongu, for sure. And then you also got DeJounte Murray. Thank you. DeJounte would be the other guy who also, like, you know, as much as he's improved as a 3-point shooter, you just open up the lane for him. So that team would be dangerous. OKC, I have no idea how that would work, in all honesty, because Markkanen at the 4 with Chet, like, unless Chet puts on some weight, and like, I like Chet defensively, but I feel like if you get Lauri, you need a bona fide center, like a true bona fide center to really help him and to help the team in general. I think it'd be an interesting concept. I mean, if you're all about offense and if you want to do what the Pacers do and try to play at a fast pace, you could go that direction. But I always just think Lauri has to be with a legitimate center, man. That's why he works so well with Kessler, is because he can actually just step out, and Kessler, who we saw, I mean, man, if you just want to go hear some depressed Knicks fans, just go over to KFTV after the Utah Jazz game. All right. We were frustrated, but you just saw how that worked out. So that's why I always think for Markkanen, he has to be with a center. I'm not really too keen on the OKC move, but it would be interesting.
I think I'm with you there. with Atlanta. I think that would probably be the best fit. It's a nice mix of complementary pieces in that lineup. Again, depending on who they gave up, but I like that. You talking about like a package with like Jalen Johnson, a couple other pieces, or Bogdanovich. It's kind of tough. Bogdanovich playing well too, and so is Jalen Johnson. But for marketing, you might have to make a move like that. I like Atlanta, Sacramento. I think they need to get tougher and they need defense. I don't think offense is necessarily their issue. I wouldn't be so quick to give up on Keegan Murray either. I wouldn't be so quick to give up on him. I don't think it makes sense to give up on him. You're going to lose defense. You're going to lose a more complementary piece in your lineup. The problem with Sacramento is, as you said, they got to get the Sabonis thing is he gives you so much on the offensive end as a skilled passing big man. It's no wonder that when he got there, things just turned around. Him and Fox have an excellent duo, and he's a great passing big man next to Sabonis. But he takes away so much on the defensive end that it's almost like a neutral. This a bonus factor. And so, like you said, ultimately, they're going to have to move on from it and get bigger size, get more formidable. Harrison Barnes has done his days. You got to upgrade there, but with some bonus at the 5, you're still going to be weak. So even if they did get marketing, it would be nice. But him and Sabonis in there, you're not going to go anywhere because you can't defend anybody. So I think that's the issue. OKC would be interesting because I think of all those teams, they've got the pieces where if they gave them up along with draft capital, you wouldn't even know those guys are gone because they have so many guys. I mean, you watch an OKC game, they've got from 1 through 13, guys are getting burned at some point. They may not be every game, but guys are getting burned from Ousmane Dieng to Trey Man.
They got Trey Man.
Trey Man. That's my guy, man. So I think that would be interesting, but do they give up a J-Dub for marketing? That would be tough. I like J-Dub. I like Jalen Williams. I do like Jalen Williams.
I think it'd be Giddey that'd be on the move if you're OKC. And then what you could do is that you would slide Dort to shooting guard, Williams to small forward, and you could do marketing at the 4. But like I said, I like Chet. Like if Chet could put on more weight and be a tougher center, that'd be very interesting. Now I could see that working. I don't know. We've had that question. We got to get our guy Alex back on here to talk about that and Chet at the center position. But yeah, we'll see, man.
Well, you know what? You know what though? What Diagnol is trying to do, and we talked about this on a previous show. If they were to make a trade like that and still keep the other Jalen Williams, where you're bringing him off the bench, then you could still go your twin tower lineup. You could go big, or you can go small. And have that, you can have that dynamic. So, you could get more explosive offensively. You could add more shooting to your lineup. And then if you got to get tougher, you got to grind it out. You bring in your 2 big lineup and go that way. So I think marketing with OKC would actually be kind of fire depending on the cost.
I think Giddey's getting moved if you do that.
And boy, oh boy, he had a bad night last night. Boy, every time he got the rock in Sacramento last night, they were letting him have it. That boy, Giddey, man.
I just think, look, man, you're not trading SGA.
No.
Well, here's why I say it's Giddey, and this is not even to be facetious with what he's going through right now. Okay, I'm legitimately thinking like if you're just look at like the roster, SGA not being moved, you're not moving Chet. You need defense. Dort staying. I agree with you. You keep Jalen Williams. You got to keep him. But he's an undersized power forward where he is right now. And that's why I say, like, you can move that. I'd move every draft capital possible. You're not going to draft all those guys anyway.
Yeah.
And you can go get Lauri Markanen. Like I said, I think offensively, it'd be the most interesting, most fire fit. Defensively is where I would have my concerns. But, as our guy Andrew would always say, I think he thinks he could be fine with just an okay defense and a legit scoring threat offense. So maybe it works out that way. We're seeing that with Pacers right now. We see that with the Bucks. Who knows?
Yeah. But how about those New York Knickerbockers, Al? Because Knicks
for Lauri.
When a new name comes about, they're all over. We got to get him. Leon, get on the phone. Get him. We need a guy. Would you bring marketing to the Knicks?
Are you trading Julius Randle?
No.
You want marketing?
I'm Julius Hive, man.
Huh?
I'm Julius Hive, man. He's got you blocked on Twitter. We're cool. I know he don't like you. We're cool though. I'm not trading Julius.
What has happened?
2020.
This is a complete 180.
Returning the lead.
I won't go. I'll save that for KFTV. I'll save that for tonight. Anyway, Markkanen and Randall on a team. What is happening here? Who are we moving? What is this lineup that we're talking about? Are we talking about a Brunson, like whoever at shooting guard, Randall, Markkanen, Mitch front court? Is that what we're seeing right now? Are we just replicating what the Cavs did?
Yeah.
Wow.
It depends. It depends. I mean, let's look at his contract first and foremost and see what we're dealing with here. Let's take a look at the contract. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. NBA Report, we in here. 17 mil for that contract. So I mean, you're talking about multiple players here. Obviously, Angel's going to want younger players if he's doing this. So, are you talking quickly? Are you talking RJ? Or along with the Fournier contract? Are you talking quick? Plus probably 3 firsts. 2 or 3 firsts. Probably 3. No Ainge. And depending on his motivation. So you're giving up quick? Let's say it's quick. Fournier, 3 picks for like Markkanen and somebody else. So you would have a lineup of Brunson, RJ, Markkanen, Randall, Mitch. Your bench will be Grimes, Dante, Ihart, and Hart. I think that'd be nice offensively. I think it'd be fine. It'd be nice.
You said Brunson, RJ, Markkanen, Randall, and
Mitch. Healthy Mitch. Yeah.
Hey, Lauri, this is Tips. Can you play any defense? We're looking for some defense. So what we see right here is that we'll have a net rating of 300 defensively, and we can live with that.
Offensively, they be good. They be solid. He give you another shot creator there at the 3. He could shoot it, fine. But defensively, I think it would be a disaster, and I think ultimately it would be a transition move. Like if you go get Markkanen, then RJ and Julius got to be the next one out. You know what I mean? RJ or Julius would be the next ones out to get more defensive minded in there. I just don't see what you think you can win with Markkanen and Randall. Garden.
Look, I don't like that fit whatsoever. Just defensively, like I think you're just like even with the Cavs, like it was fine, but it was only fine because Allen and Mobley can play defense. You know what I mean? Like, and you had Lauri out at the 3, but you had 2 guys that could play defense and who were solid at defense, and then you also had I forget who was playing for the wing that year, but or I should say at the shooting guard. I just don't like that fit, man. I feel like if you're going to get Lauri Markkanen, you're going to have to move Randall. And that makes more sense to have like even RJ on this team for just spacing purposes, because Lauri can shoot the 3 ball well. So if you have Lauri, Brunson, and then say if you have like Dante out there who can shoot the 3 very well, you open it up for RJ, open it for Mitch, Brunson, and those guys can attack the lane very well. Yeah. I just don't like, and you're not really losing anything defensively because you're just replacing one poor defender with another poor defender. You know what I mean? So, and if anything, you're adding more height. So more of a deterrent in the paint. But I'm not to have the lineup of like Markkanen and Randall and Mitch. Maybe in like Tibbs's 2000s bag would he love to see that, but I'm good, man. But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We talked about Spida. Now we just talked about Lauri. And these are 2 names now that I just see flying around the Knicks Twitterverse.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if the team was something like this?
Mm-hmm.
It had Brunson, Mitch, Lauri, Randall, and what was it? So you had Brunson, Spida. Let me just not use Mitch. You have Brunson, Spida, Lauri, Randall, Robinson.
Brunson's, yeah. I'm good with it for in the onset. Fine, bringing it. Like they're going to need to make moves. They got to make moves, bro. Like you need talent infusion in here. Go get it and see what happens. I just feel like in the long term, you're gonna have to massage the rotation a little bit. You're gonna have to tweak. You're gonna have to make tweaks, which is fine. Right? Progression is never going to be in a straight line, right? Sometimes you're going to plateau. Sometimes you might take a dip and then come back up. Every year is different. But I think in the onset, go get him. I'll go do that. I'll go do that.
I would love to see Tibbs work with some offense like that.